Hello all! As I said before, I never watch anyone else's review before I write my own, but I've noticed a trend with the titles of reviews on this episode on YouTube, which were exactly where my mind went. I'm talking, of course, of Agatha All Along, episode 3. However, I am a little torn, not about the quality of the episode, it was lame again, but over whether it was totally genuine or an attempt to own the critics as the writers tried with She-Hulk. I mean, it's so on the nose that if it's not a dig, then it's even more tragic. And I can only talk about this whilst spoiling the episode, so I'm going to dive right in. Basically, on the surface, the show is about middle-aged women making middle-aged women jokes whilst drinking wine, leading to their oft-uttered phrase, "Who is this for?" It opens on the Witch's Road with some truly terrible acting, specifically from the last addition to the Coven after she leaves the path and finds herself in peril. Not that there was any tension, mind you. Then they stumble upon a house, walk in and are transformed into the desperate housewives, who drink wine and bitch. Turns out the wine is poisoned and their faces swell into plastic surgery, filler and Botox-induced nightmares before they have hallucinations whilst the potion witch creates an antidote. They all take it, escape back to the road, but aforementioned last edition has died. Oh no, am I supposed to care? So let's unpack this, because right now it seems like the writers are literally scribbling about their LA lives rather than creating an engaging Marvel TV show. Whine aunts writing an episode about whine aunts. Desperate housewives, wine drinking and a botched plastic surgery analogy is so literal that I can't believe it wasn't completely intentional. Don't get me wrong, that could just be me being overgenerous. And in fact they are just self-inserting to create a show for their own demographic. A demographic, by the way, that don't watch shows like this. Alternatively, they're trolling certain critics they know will use the epithet of wine mum. Is it an attempt to own them by presenting a trope-filled representation of those criticisms so they can pat themselves on the backs about being so meta? Weirdly, I really hope it is, because the alternative is so depressing. But ultimately, even if that is the case, it's a self-own, because not only are they creating a self-fulfilling prophecy like the She-Hulk writers did, but they're admitting those critics are living rent-free in their heads. As I said with She-Hulk previously in other shows, if you really want to own the critics, just write something good. The episode itself is just bland, to the extent that I was struggling to think of what to say in my review. Mostly, the cast run around the house being catty to each other, in a deeply unfunny way. The characters are still generic and unlikable, there's no tension or excitement, probably because I don't care about any of them and quite literally felt nothing when one of them died. And their nightmare hallucinations didn't move the dial for me or give me any greater insight into their lives. Obviously, they are also attempting to make Agatha sympathetic, because of course they are, standard fare these days. Teen is actually the most sympathetic, I guess, but there's still not much meat there. They try to muddy the waters about who he is, and there is a mention of Mephisto, because after reading all the fan rumours and better endings surrounding WandaVision, Jack Schaefer finally knows who he is. Now I do appreciate that they're using practical sets. It is a bit of a lost art, but unfortunately a lot of the time when they're walking through the wood it looks like they're on a soundstage. It very much looks artificial. That might have been the intention, but Wizard of Oz looked more believable than this. Given the flip in aspect ratio that happens when they enter the house, they clearly are invoking those television shows from the past, because there's absolutely no reason to have this setting with regards to the characters in the show. It evokes no dreams, no emotions, no fears. It's nothing to do with the characters, so it's clearly everything to do with the writers. And with that in mind, does that mean that every episode is going to just be a stereotypical middle-aged woman's memory? The trailer kind of makes it look like that, but I guess we'll see. So if any of them are watching, I really hope they're enjoying it, because so far for me it just feels like a wasted half an hour. So what do you think? Was it an attempt to own the critics, or are the writers really just the hacks we all think they are? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. Until the next time, and episode 4, which I've heard is a doozy, peace out.